Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to ixamBee. So today we will discuss the most important questions on management for SEBI Grade A. These will be helpful for other exams also. As of now, for SEBI Grade A, yes, the upcoming exam on 17th January. Okay, just to recapitulate what we have already done till now. The paper 2 for phase 1 is going to consist of 6 subjects. We have discuss the important questions of all of these subjects in a series of 5 sessions. Commerce and accounts and costing was covered on 26th December. Companies Act on 2nd Jan, finance on 4th Jan, economics on 5th January, and today we are discussing the last aspect on management. Right, so if you have missed any, you can see the links in the description box and go through these important questions for the upcoming SEBI Grade A 2020 exam. Okay, so let's start with today's management questions. The first question: who amongst the following gave the 10 roles of a manager? So there are famous managerial roles, the various roles a manager plays. A list of 10 roles were given by one of the thinkers. Who is that person? Henry Fayol, H. Mintzberg, Peter F. Drucker, W. E. Deming, or F. W. Taylor. Please keep writing your answers and please answer with a question number also. Yes, so that is correct. It is H. Mintzberg. His full name is Henry Mintzberg. Okay, he categorized these roles. He gave 10 roles and he had categorized them in 3 categories: the interpersonal roles, the informational role, and decisional role. So all these have further breakdowns into 10 managerial roles. Okay, so knowing about these roles and understanding what each role means is important, right? You can also sometimes have questions related to case studies where they give you a situation and say and ask which kind of role is that person or that manager performing. Okay, if you want to understand this detail, we had done a session on managerial roles, specifically case study wise. You will get the link in the description box for that also, and you can go through that video, right? So all of you are correct. Jitendra, the answer is not A, it is B. Okay, so let's revise this also, because such questions come, thinkers and what are they famous for. Henry Fayol is famous for giving the 14 principles of management. And he's also famous for one of the organizational theories. So you can write that in the comment box. Henry Mintzberg, as we said, he is famous for the 10 roles of manager. Peter F. Drucker is famous for the concept of MBO, management by objectives. W. E. Deming, William Edwards Deming is his full name. He is famous for giving the TQM or the Deming cycle or the TDCA cycle, right? Total quality management. He is famous for it. These are the different names used for it. And F.W. Taylor, Frederick Taylor, he is known as the father of scientific management. Okay, so these things, these names and what they are famous for, questions either ways, who gave this theory or this person gave which theory, such kind of questions do come in the competitive exams. Okay, so all of you who have many of you have replied in the comments box. That is great, right? Moving to the second question: which of the following words best describes a systematic way of gathering information about the content, context, and the human requirements of a job? Okay, whether we call it job design, job analysis, job description, job specification, or job evaluation. Okay, so Agnik has already replied. It is job analysis. Yes, that is correct. So job analysis is the broader picture within which we have two categories: job description and job specification. So job description is telling in details about the job per se. Okay, what will be the task, what will be the responsibilities, the location of the work, the duties that you will be performing. And job specification is the personnel requirement, right? What are the qualifications, what is the knowledge you need, what kind of experience is required. So when you read the SEBI grade A notification, when they say this job, the grade A officer, what will he be responsible for, that is the job description. And all the notification details which are actually mentioned in that, which are talking about your qualification, the exam pattern, all that is basically the part of your when they are also talking about that becomes your job specification, where they ask for your qualifications and the experience that will be taken into account. So that becomes job specification. Job design. What is job design? So job description we've covered, job specification we've covered. Job design is basically you're analyzing the job and designing the structure so as to make it interesting and effective for the people, right? So job design also has different forms. You can write in the comments also. The job design consists of four aspects in which the jobs can be designed or structured so as to keep the motivation of the people high in the organization. So there are four aspects to job design. As a revision, please write them in the comments box. And job evaluation is evaluating how the importance of a job in the organization. So this is not from the people side, this is more from the existence of the job side. Okay. Yes, Agnik, job rotation, job enrichment, job enlargement. There's a fourth one also. So 3, yes, you have answered. There's one more to it. So right, think of that also. Okay. Third question: who amongst the following is most closely related to the concept of job enrichment? Okay, so one of the aspects of job design, as I said, is job enrichment. Which person is most closely related to this concept? Is it Maslow, it's Alderfer, Herzberg, Deming, or Fayol? Okay, so 3 is C. Yes, all of you are right. Okay, what is Herzberg most famous for? So the moment you hear names, you should be very quickly able to recall what these people are known for. Okay, see, Herzberg gave the two-factor theory. Okay, the two-factor theory, also known as the hygiene motivation theory. Right, so he discovered this concept, and this is closely related to his two-factor theory concept, that the feeling, this is job enrichment is one of the motivational factors according to his theory, to which people get the feeling of achievement or recognition or growth, right? So this is one of the motivational factors as per Herzberg. Okay. So I will just answer the job design one. So 3, Agnik, you had mentioned correctly. The job enrichment, job enlargement. So if I go back, so the 4 factors of job design include job enrichment, as we discussed here, job enlargement, job rotation. So these are the 3 most common ones, and one more is job simplification, where you're making the task simpler. instead of making it more challenging, you are making it simpler. Okay, so that's also one of the elements of job design, right? Know the meaning of all these four terms also. These terms are important, right? Fourth question: in which type of inventory management system the supply of components is regulated through the use of instruction cards sent along the production line? Is it called EOQ, Kaizen technique, total quality management, LIFO or FIFO inventory management systems, or Kanban technique? Yes, it is called the Kanban technique. Kanban word's a Japanese term. What it actually means is a visual system, something that you can see, a visual card. Okay, that's the literal meaning. What the system says is that you are tracking. So it's closely related to the just-in-time management, inventory management system, in which the various processes are shown on a board. So there's a Kanban board that is created on the floor of a production manufacturing unit or a production unit, where the various processes, there are different ways you can lay it out. The whole idea is you can visually see where the requirement of inventory or material is, and accordingly you order. That's why it goes hand in hand with just in time. Only when the requirement is there of inventory is when you place order, so as to maintain a smooth flow of production. At the same time, no excess money is involved or blocked in buying something or keeping or storing inventory which is not immediately required, right? So this concept was brought in by the Toyota company. Majority of the production related inventory systems have been brought in. I'm not saying all, but majority was started by the Toyota company. Kaizen technique is also one of them. Kaizen means continuous improvement, that you small improvements a company should always keep doing, so as to always reach their objective. So it does not have to be one big change, one strategic change that is always required in a company. Continuous improvements also lead to improvement. So that was the Kaizen technique. Why I have covered this question, per se inventory management systems for SEBI is not there under management topic. However, they have included lean systems as a part of the costing topic, right? So and in management, I have in many of my sessions I keep saying management is vast, right? The syllabus indicative, it's a subjective subject. You need to apply a lot of logic in understanding things, and it can be done, right? There can be a lot of peripheral topics also, right? So peripheral topics, this is one of the peripheral topics that have come in the past, and therefore I have brought this question up to indicate to you that these are some Japanese terms which are sometimes asked, so know the meaning of these. Okay, and with SEBI, at least it also coincides with the topic of lean systems, which is there in the syllabus. Next question. MBO or management by objectives was given by Peter F. Drucker. We already discussed this in the first question. So he said that the superiors and the subordinates should participate to set the goals which are tangible, verifiable, and measurable. Okay, so I am not here asking about what management by objective means. If you don't know it. It's one of the very important concepts in management. The question here is, which is one of the disadvantages of MBO? Okay, is it the process is very quick and informal? The process has no effect on worker commitment. The program only emphasizes what should be done in an organization. Carrying out the process is time consuming and requires additional paperwork. And MBO duplicates other management practices. Yes, so answer is D. It can be time consuming because you are involving subordinates, you are setting up targets, right? So all of this requires a lot of time and paperwork, right? So MBO, as I told, the questions that can come are what is another name for management by objectives, or what is meant by management by results. So by objectives, also known as management by results. Then the person associated with it is Peter F. Drucker. The name of the book in which he talked about is The Practice of Management. So these are very simple, direct, objective questions that you should remember. Then the meaning of management by objectives, as I said here, the superiors and subordinates together work to set goals, and these goals should be measurable, right? They should be tangible. It should not be vague, like I want to grow in future. It should be how much growth you want. I want 100% growth in next 10 years, or so you should have a tangible, verifiable target that you can achieve. It should not be vague, right? So advantage are, it is result oriented. Okay, so you are working towards a number that you are going to achieve. So you are very focused, you know what you are working towards. It helps in a better relation between manager and subordinates, and everybody knows what their role is in the organization. And the targets are very you set standards, so what level of work is expected. The disadvantages, so these are some of the advantages, not the complete list, please. Some of the disadvantages are, it needs total support. If the top management or the people are not ready to involve subordinates at every level, it will fail. It will not achieve the purpose. So you have to involve the employees so that they know their work and they are committed and they are motivated to achieve that goal. Okay, it requires a lot of paperwork because you have to do calculations, you have to understand what kind of goals you are setting and what timelines you are setting. So it is a time consuming, and paperwork is involved is large. The emphasis is more on the short term goals, right? Because when I say short term, it's short term to medium term, right? Like you will say in 2 years I want to grow or double, right? So it's relatively, because the tangible aspect brings in a little time constraint also as to how much you can predict. You cannot predict up to 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. A number is more justifiable and more achievable when you know it is in the near future. If you set a target of 10 years, 20 years, it will lose its relevance because nobody will see that. They cannot predict so long, and they cannot visualize themselves. A subordinate, maybe a management, top management can. A subordinate will not be able to visualize himself in the company for 10, 20 years and how he will be contributing. So that's why the emphasis unintentionally does become short term in MBO, and it's a goal achievement, and therefore sometimes it may be difficult to practically work on it. Right. Sixth question. So Agnik, you are ready with the sixth already. Great, very fast. Good. In the exam, please complete this segment quickly so that you can move ahead with others. Okay. Sixth question. Which of the following motivation theory is based on the comparison between outputs and inputs of the employees? I think this is simple. It is the equity theory. Okay, who gave the equity theory? It is Stacey Adams who had given this theory, in which you are saying you are comparing your input, what you are, how much effort you are putting in, with the output. What are you getting in return? The salary, the benefits from the organization, right? So that equity is basically forming the basis of your motivation. If you think what you are giving to the company, you are getting more than that, you will be always motivated to keep working. The moment you start feeling that the amount of effort you are putting in is not commensurate with the amount of salary or benefits you are getting from the company, you will be demotivated to work. And this comparison is not just with yourself, it can be with a peer also in the same company or outside. Maybe your friend is working in a similar kind of industry, and what he is getting from his company and what you are getting, you can do that. A person might be doing that kind of comparison also. So there is a comparison being done with the input and output. Input is what the employee is giving to the company, his efforts, his time, his energy. output is what he is getting, that is his salary, the benefits, you know, tangible and intangible benefits that he is getting. So that kind of comparison is done, and that forms the basis of the motivation. So that is the theory, the equity theory that was given by Stacey Adams. So yes, all of you are right about the sixth one. The seventh question, which of the following is not a motivator as per Herzberg? So Herzberg, we already talked about, he gave the two-factor theory, the hygiene and the motivation theory, right? So he had categorized different parameters, different incentives under two heads, some being the hygiene factors and the other being the motivation factors. So which of these is not a motivating factor according to Herzberg? Yes, C, the interpersonal relations is not a motivating factor, that is a hygiene factor. Hygiene factor according to Herzberg are those factors whose presence is necessary. However, okay, so they lead to satisfaction. If they are present, you are satisfied in your job. However, if they are not present, they will lead to a lot of dissatisfaction. So their presence is assumed, is given. They should, that is a given for them to exist. But the moment they are removed, they can lead to a very high level of dissatisfaction and demotivation for an employee. So these are known as the hygiene factors, which are the salary, your status, your security, your working conditions, the relations that you have in the organization with the various people, and your own personal life. Motivation factors are which actually increase the level of motivation in the of an employee, and these are more closely related to your higher level needs. If I go to the Maslow's theory, they are more related to the higher level needs of an individual. So these are like achievement, your personal growth, challenging work, recognition that you get in your work, the responsibility that you are given. So all that lead to higher levels of motivation. Hygiene factors don't lead to higher levels of motivation according to Herzberg's theory. Another important concept about Herzberg's theory is the distinction that he makes between dissatisfaction and being motivated or not being motivated. So he said satisfaction and motivation are not the same thing. Okay, so this is another type of question that can sometimes come. Which theory differentiates between satisfaction and motivation? So Nilesh, as I said, in management, there's no end to the peripheral topics that you can go to. The most important ones revolve around the leadership theories, the motivation theories, the concepts of jobs and HRD, appraisal systems. These are the most common one, even and in management, and talking about the functions of management, the managerial roles, the organization setups. So these are the most important one that you should focus on. If you are through with them, if you are very confident, you can touch upon any kind of peripheral topics that you want to, right? Yes, Shivam, that is correct. Hygiene talks about dissatisfaction, satisfaction and not satisfaction. Question number 8. Transformational leadership has which of the following characteristics? It employs clear chain of command. It leads by vision, motivates team by rewards and punishment, follows instructions, and resistance to change. So even if I think logically, if you think, even if you don't try to, if you don't know what transformational leadership is, even then you will be able to attempt this by the rule of elimination. Yes, it is lead by vision. Okay, following a clear chain of command is more like bureaucratic leadership style. Motivating through rewards and punishment system is the transactional leadership style. Following instructions is more authoritative leadership style, right? How you could have managed through elimination is because these all are more restrictive. This is something which is more broader, and if I compare with the other points, right? So even if you didn't know what transformational leadership is, you through elimination you could have come to this answer. Okay, you can read about transformational leadership by pausing the video if required. Question number 9. As per the managerial grid, the position 1, 9 is better known as. So after this answer, also write in the comments box who gave the managerial grid. Okay. So the position 1-9 is actually known as the country club. Okay. So according to managerial grid, there are two parameters that they take. The concern for production is on the x-axis. On the y-axis, they take concern for people. Okay. So when your concern for production is low and your concern for people is very high, that situation is known as the country club situation, where your the opposite of that is when you are most only concerned about the production and hardly concerned about the people. Then you are focused on the task management, where you take both seriously, both concern are very high. That is the team management. That is where every company should actually move towards. The opposite of team management is the impoverished management, where you are not concerned either by production. So that's kind of you're killing your company. You don't care about anything in the company. And a midway is the middle of the road. The managerial grid is given by whom? Yes, Blake and Wharton gave the managerial grid. Question number 10. Which leadership theory are we referring to in which the manager wants to ensure that his employees are highly productive and satisfied with their jobs, set high goals and a clear direction for completing the task, and also get involved in meeting the goals and is very involved in this process? So which leadership theory are we talking about here? Okay, is it the path goal leadership theory, situational leadership theory, contingency theory, transformational leadership theory, or none of these? Is there something else? Yes, it is the path goal leadership theory. Again, who gave this theory? Okay, so it is Robert House who gave this theory, path goal theory, in which he says a leader's behavior is depending on, so it is one of the contemporary modern leadership theories in which the leader adapts to the situations, and the parameters that he uses, the path goal theory says takes into account is the employee satisfaction, his motivation and his performance. So what happens is that good leader will first give a clear direction. He will set goals and will get his employees involved in those goal achievement and will support his employees all the time, right? This leads to higher level of satisfaction and productivity from employees end. Okay, and also leads to acceptance of a leader by the employees. When the employees accept the leadership direction that the leader is given, there is a more cordial relation and better productivity and efficiency and motivation in the employee to achieve the goal, right? So this is the theory that was given by Robert House. Yes, Vaishnavi. In this, if you read the question carefully, you could have got the answer even if you did not know it beforehand. Question number 11. Interpersonal communication is a soft skill that encompasses how well an individual communicates with others. What is interpersonal communication also referred to as? Okay, it is also known as dyadic communication. Dyadic, just an English word. Dyadic means two-way, right? So it is a dyadic or involving two people. It is a dyadic communication where you are talking face to face. Why is the first option not there? Because although I have written the word face to face in the first option, in the A option, I've also mentioned it is public communication. Okay, so somebody giving a speech, he is giving it face to face, but he is not addressing another person. He is addressing a large group of people, right? So that is not dyadic in communication. Dyadic is between two people here. It is not personal communication. Okay, it is dyadic communication that we are doing. 12th question. In an organization, how does lateral communication occur? So what is the flow of communication or information in a lateral communication setup? Yes, dyadic communication was highlighted in the LMX theory. So that forms the base for LMX theory. Okay, so in lateral communication, how does this information flow? Okay, it flows at the same level between different departments and functions, right? So when we say the information is, so there's another name for lateral communication. It is also known as the horizontal communication. Okay, so the information is flowing at the same level, okay, different departments. Vertical communication is of two types. When the vertical communication is flowing from the subordinates to the superiors, it is known as upward. And when it is flowing from from the superiors to the subordinates, then it becomes downwards communication. Okay, so this becomes your upward, this becomes your downward communication. Diagonal information, diagonal communication is when a superior of, say, finance department is communicating with a subordinate of marketing department. Okay, so it is between different levels and different department, that becomes your diagonal. Okay, and at the same level is known as the horizontal or lateral communication. And where there is no particular direction, what do we call that? Then we call it informal communication or grapevine also. Right? Question number 13. Which of the following is not a barrier to an effective communication? So barriers to communication is also an important topic. What are the different kinds of barriers? What the different kinds of barriers known as, referred to as? So definitions of those, meaning of those, they are usually all English words, so you can very easily relate to them even if you don't recall by theory per se. Okay, so it is your channel richness. Filtering is, half the information is going, so it is a barrier to effective communication. Like Chinese whisper, only half the information is reaching to the end person, the required person. Selective perception is also, you are not understanding the entire message, but selectively making your own opinion or biases in the understanding of the message. That becomes selective perception, and it becomes a barrier to the effective communication because the entire message has not been understood in the with the intention with which it was communicated. Language is a perception. Say if I don't know English properly, and if I start using heavy rich words, then the other person may not understand exact communication that I am making. So language can become a barrier sometimes. Channel richness is actually improving the effectiveness. What we mean by channel richness is, it is the amount of information that can be transmitted. Okay, so if a channel that is being used to communicate can absorb more information, then it is actually leading to improving. It's not a barrier, it is effectively helping in the communication process. 14th question. Under which of the following methods of control the feedback and the corrective steps are done simultaneously? The answer here is concurrent control. Okay, these two as per management are not there, planning control and statutory control. There are three types of control that can be done by the management. The feedback control is based on the past analysis. Okay, so you analyze what has already been done and then see what went wrong and then take corrective action. So it's also your corrective control. Concurrent is related to present. So past, present, future is what you can think of as three types of controls. Present, where you concurrent, side by side, you are just checking as it is happening, and then making sure if something is going wrong, then correcting it right away, not waiting for the end to happen and then taking corrective measures. Okay, so that becomes your concurrent control. Okay, so something, this can be audit. If I have to relate to this, can be more like an internal audit that keeps happening at different intervals, or any checking of MIS, that the management is studying the MIS on regular intervals, the boards is meeting and checking. So that can be more of a concurrent control. And this can be decision making happening, meetings happening on a regular basis. Feed forward is more of the future based, where you're anticipating what things can go wrong or can lead to problems, and deciding and taking actions beforehand only. Something changes in the external environment, some government policy comes in, and this can have an impact later on your functions, and you take proactive action. So it is also known as proactive or preventive control. Okay. Next question. The number of employees that a manager can manage is best described by which of the following? Is it known as team? Is it known as team, span of control, matrix structure, command area, or scalar chain? So it is known as the span of control. Okay, so there is, what are the two types of span of control? There is narrow span of control, where you are managing very few number of people. Okay, and what is the opposite of the narrow span of control? Sorry. Yeah, so 15 is right. It is narrow and wide span of control. So wide span of control can be seen in more of a flat organizational structure. Yeah, and narrow span of control may be associated with your line structure. Right. So in this is the number of people that you are managing under yourself. What is scalar chain? So scalar chain is one of the principles of management that were given, one of the 14 principles of management that were given by Henry Fayol, in which he said that the information should flow and the communication should follow the command. Okay, so as to have clear communication in the organization, he did introduce that at the same level the communication can happen between people, and that at the same level which allowed communication to flow laterally, that term was known as the gangplank. Okay, so that is one of the scalar chain is the one of the principles. Right, one more question for today, the last one. This is one of the peripheral topics which I have included. Okay, the 3 stages of decision making of intelligence gathering, design and choice was given by which person? Okay, I'm repeating again, this is one of the peripheral topics related to decision making. So this was given by Herbert Simon. He is a Nobel Prize winner. Okay, in which he said, in this theory he said that when a person is undertaking the process of decision making, he is actually performing 3 tasks or 3 stages he is going through. The first being intelligence, where he is collecting all the information, okay, because he wants to take an informed decision. So a decision making process should always be an informed decision making, where you are collecting information related to the problem that you want to solve. Once you have collected information, then you decide on the criteria on which you will base the decision. So what will be the most important criteria that will be required for making that decision? You narrow that down, and that's why it's an opposite, downward pyramid or downward triangle, because here you have large information that then you narrow it down to only that which actually affects the decision that you're going to make, and then from that you make the choice from the various alternatives and the information available to you. You narrow down and then you make your choice which will give the best solution to your problem. So there's a 3 stages of intelligence, design and choice. Okay, so this was given by Herbert Simon, right? So that's all for today. These are some of the important some of the most important topics in management that will be useful for your exam. Once again at ixamBee we have expert faculty to guide you for various aspects of the exam, subject matter experts who are there to guide you for the exam as per the exam requirement and not generic guidance. We have also launched a new course, NPS online course. Some of you might have already seen the video related to the notification and the details about the NPS exam, which is very very similar to SEBI Grade A. So we have launched a course for NPS, and you can enroll that and get SEBI Grade A course also with it. So for any details you can log on or call the ixamBee, right? Thanks again for staying connected and joining in. Today was the last in the series for general category. You will find the links in the description if you have missed any of the sessions before. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.